may have given us a new key.
I always said that I don't want to be heard, I want to be felt. I don't want to make my mark, I want to make my dent.
I didn't realize at the time that I was actually one of the biggest activists and largest organizers of white nationalism and alt-right in the United States.
They are what is considered by most people sort of your button-up white supremacists, your suit and tie Nazis.
Arguably, what they spew, while it's hateful and deplorable, is political speech, and so therefore it's protected under the Constitution.
Paul!
Why are you letting the fascists down here? You've got us blocked off, but you're letting the fascists come and harass us? We want them out of here now, damn it, or we're coming over the fucking barrier!
I can't walk in fear, and we don't walk in fear, you know, and I thank God for that.
Honestly, I wanted to make sure that when I left this earth, there would be something left behind that was worth a damn.
4 bands, 9 songs, 1 good cause, and I even do spoken word on the thing. So head on over to OnePeoplesProject.com and get your copy of this important CD. Because bottom line, we all in right now.
To rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble.
Uh-huh.
I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny, it'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
2 hours later.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. How was your weekend last weekend?
Oh boy, how you doing, Daryle?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. How about y'all?
Doing okay.
Glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here too. Although it's so funny too because it's like I've been spending the past couple of weeks in DC, and I was only but a half hour away from that nonsense when it went down. I should have
Oh
just
wow.
jumped in the car to see what was going on, but I don't. But considering I couldn't get any parking anywhere like the next day, there was just it probably wouldn't have been smart to try to roll out there. But I guess we got to talk about it.
You're like moth to a flame, Daryle. You don't need to put yourself in danger all the time. Just keep that in the
Well, I
back of
wouldn't
your
have been
mind.
in any danger. I mean, I think I would have just it would have just been a scene. It just would have been a scene, and I don't think there wouldn't have been any trouble going on with me. I mean, they would have been too busy dealing with whoever started shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys
So,
watch the video at all?
oh yeah,
I've watched it. Yeah. I see people like continuing to eat their salads during this
Oh
this
boy.
moment of deep trauma to the really wealthy, powerful people who were there.
I
although I will make a quick defense of the security who grabbed um JD Vance first. He was the first one they got to.
yeah.
they got to Trump just a couple seconds later, and then they grabbed him. He tripped and fell.
Yeah.
He's an 80-year-old man, so hey, it is what it is. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, this is as far leeway I will give these knuckleheads. I'm not going to sit there and say um that I'm having any kind of like what should I say sympathies for anybody in that room, really. I mean, well, I'll leave the reporters alone, even though
Yeah, I mean the reporters, workers. The
yeah,
manifesto. He said that a lot of those people
Mm.
wouldn't be in danger. Thankfully, yeah.
yes,
I in the video, CNN had a really good cleaned edit version of the video where they slow it down and you could see that the security guard fires 3 shots.
right, right,
And
yeah,
they were able to subdue the guy.
yeah. I think I saw that, and one thing I would say, I mean, bottom line is they're going to do this again in about a month, or they want to, or something like that. But that crap that you heard Levitt say just before, the her shots fired, the kind of thing.
Mm.
Um, the whole thing about this this year's dinner that was really controversial was the fact that Trump didn't want any comedians up there roasting him. That's why they
Yeah.
had a mentalist that was supposed to be the talent for the evening. Yet he was going to roast everybody else. He
Hmm.
said for about an hour. And
That's not
when
how roasts work.
no, that's not. And my thing, and make you some bad, he decides to go after Kimmel after all of this for something that he came up with before the rally. I mean, before the dinner. And now you start seeing a whole bunch of people getting in trouble like they did, how they got in trouble after Charlie Kirk for what it is they're saying. And now they want to try to talk about all kinds of rules and laws that they would not have thought of is it if it was them saying something critical about Obama, Biden, Clinton. I mean,
Yeah.
it gets old. It really
Yeah,
does get old when they
it,
pull
it
these
does.
stunts.
The hypocrisy for me isn't just it anymore because this is who these people are. This is who these
Right.
people have always been. We shouldn't be shocked about any of this. And I want to share this, and I want to share it with you. And Beth's an educator also. I had 23 students in my class last week, and I asked them. I said, "No judgment, quick show of hands." I said, "We're not going to go any deeper." I said, "How many of you think that this was a staged shooting?" 11 of my 23 students believe that that was a false flag attack on the president. I'm not saying I believe it. I don't think it was, but I mean this really gets to the heart of one of the problems in our country. It's just this nobody trusts Donald Trump. He's at a 30% approval rating, so that even when there's an attempt made on his life and on his people don't even believe it. I mean, we see it all over the internet. Beth mentioned it. We hear about the shooting and people just go about their business. It's wild. I
Really,
can't.
that is what happened.
People be like, yeah. I mean, there was an attempt on the president of the United States, and everything is so just wild now
It's
that
like,
Yeah.
it's not even a week later, and it's business as usual. We've just moved
yeah,
along. They're gutting the
but
Voting Rights Act. Yeah,
but even that day for me, it was business as usual. I mean, I was
yeah,
coming back from the hospital, and I had I turned on my tablet to see what was going on. I'm because I didn't even know that the dinner was going to be tonight. I didn't realize that, but since it was on, I figured I'd go and check and see what it looks like. And then I saw that Chiron and I was like, okay, I guess we're talking about this next. That was my
yeah.
thinking. It wasn't like, oh
It-
no, somebody started shooting. No, it was like, oh boy, here now we got this.
I was
Yeah.
kind of with Christian students in the beginning. I was like, this is totally fake. I did. But then when I read Allen's manifesto, I thought, no, these people wouldn't have come up with something.
Cole Allen is the
Yeah,
suspected.
and I don't know. I get some John Brown echoes in what he had to say in his manifesto. When we think about the things this regime is doing, and we think about John Brown, there's something there. I hear some John Brown in what he had to say.
And that needs to be said. But I mean, I know a lot of people are going to sit there and go, how can you compare him to John Brown or whatever? I mean, but my thing is, yo, we are in a day and age where we're lucky we haven't gotten worse. We
Mm-hmm.
really haven't. You can, I mean, and once again, the right is sitting there going online and only online, threatening civil war because of
Yeah.
all of this. And it's like it seems like every 3 weeks you guys are like
Ugh.
calling under arms a call to arms like that. It's like you're not kicking anybody's behind. Once you fire off a shot, 30 come back to you. I mean, because we do this
Yeah.
regularly. That's how come they don't move like that. But I don't want to start getting I don't want to brag about that kind of nonsense. Anyway, the fact of the matter is we are dealing in a situation where we have a very, very unpopular president, and his fan base e- is even worse. And people
Mm.
want to know, what are we going to do about it, and how we're going to do something about it, which is why I am glad we are doing this show on May Day, because it gives us an opportunity to talk about the history of struggle, of fighting back, um, and basically direct action.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this is. This is what it's today is about. Today is International Workers Day, for those who don't know, and we're gonna talk about that today. I mean, I'm gonna pack throw my words in here and there, but for the most part, Christian and deaf. Is that what my face is calling you now, Beth?
I'll,
Deaf
that
Foster. Okay, let's try that again. I'm gonna let Christian and Beth um have the floor because they are and I'm just gonna sit here and play producer of this. But I really just want to hear um y'all riff about all this. I'm gonna come in here and there, but yeah, you have the floor. Y'all have the floor right now.
All right. Um, well, I'll start, Christian, and then you jump in and take it where you want to. I have to warn everybody listening that I spent
Yeah.
like a year writing about Haymarket and International Workers' Day, and I can nerd out for hours.
Yeah.
So I've tried to compress this. But I think the important thing for Americans that we don't know is that there are at least 60 countries around the world that celebrate May Day,
Oh boy.
but we don't.
Yeah.
Despite May Day's origins in the United States, our official observance is on the opposite side of the calendar in September. And the
Mhm.
reason for this, the federal declaration of a September Labor Day, which happened during the Pullman strikes just before the U.S. government sent in troops to beat the strikers, was a choice by our labor leaders, Congress, and President Grover Cleveland to give the historical significance to worker activism that accepted capitalist values. And they did this while suppressing this radical, militant, interracial, immigrant, anti-capitalist stream represented by International Workers' Day. So that was a rejection of that by U.S. leaders with our September Labor Day. And you want to go?
Beth, I don't know
You
if you
want to
can
jump
hear
in?
me. I'm sorry, you're kind of cutting out. I don't know if anybody can hear
Oh,
me.
I can hear
I
you.
can hear
We
you,
can
Oh,
hear you.
okay,
Christian.
sorry.
Can y'all
I
hear
just
me?
I can hear you. You're going in and out, and like you're really into this, and I'm like locked in, ready to listen.
Oh no, Daryle, am I cutting out for you?
No, I hear you. I hear you just fine.
Maybe it's
Okay.
just me,
Okay.
but I'm sorry. Go ahead, Beth. I apologize.
Um, you want me to go through some history, Christian, or you want to jump in here?
Yeah, I mean, I could jump in. I don't know what you covered, but basically, like Beth said, the official observance of Labor Day is in September. May Day has its roots in the United States, and then interestingly, we're the only country that doesn't celebrate it officially. I will say that my wife and I were watching videos today. There were celebrations all over the country. She and I attended a May Day celebration and a march in Jersey City today.
Yeah.
It drew a few hundred supporters. SEIU was there. A couple unions from Rutgers were there. CWA was there. The NEA was there. I'm sorry, NJEA was there. So there was some representation. A couple communist organizations, the DSA, and interestingly, there were a couple Democratic politicians who spoke who may have taken money from interests who were not so sympathetic to the genocide in Palestine. I couldn't remember the name of one of the local politicians. So there were a couple politicians being heckled. But all in all, I think it was a successful protest. We marched down there was a Goldman Sachs office. I'm not too familiar with the area of Jersey City. I've only been there a few times. But there were people there. People are excited. Whether or not what you have to say about certain Democrats, thankfully, the city of Jersey City did support the march. The mayor was there. He came out and supported the city workers. He had criticized previous leadership in the city. So that was inspiring. But yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, I mean, May Day is like raw deal in a nutshell. There were anarchists who got a raw deal. There was no evidence convicting them, and the authorities were able to get the jury to buy into a conspiracy theory, and all these people went to jail. It was absolutely a crime, and that's American labor history. But I'm not the labor
But see,
historian.
let's talk about that history because you're talking about the Haymarket riot, and that is something that I remember one time I was marching in Cincinnati. I think it was Cincinnati, and I believe they had a monument in front of, and I might have this wrong. I very much so might have this wrong because the riot was in Chicago, but there was a monument that I thought was for Haymarket, and I started yelling and screaming at everybody at that monument while we was marching, saying they didn't die for me. So, and it
I
was
think
like a
I think one thing about the rally that results in Haymarket that gets lost too is the protesters were responding to police brutality that night.
Yeah.
There had been a May 1st rally in the fight for the 8-hour workday, and then on May 2nd, there had been another rally. And at that, the police had opened fire on the demonstrators. And so when they go out on May the 3rd, they're protesting. I'm sorry, when they go out on May the 4th, they are protesting this police violence. And everything was going it's really like there's so many questions about what actually happened that night at the May 4th rally. The mayor had been there. There was about 3,000 people who came to that May 4th protest. The mayor had been there. A thunderstorm's coming in. Anybody who ever been to a protest, when it starts raining, people get out of there. The mayor leaves the protest, and on his way home, he stops by the Plain Street police station and he reports everything's quiet. It's almost over. The cops you have on standby for this can be sent home. But the police captain, John Bonfield, sends in there's only 200 people remaining when he sends in the police from the precinct. And a dispersal order is given, and then this bomb is thrown out of nowhere. I mean, the people were going home. It's starting to rain, and then suddenly the police show up and throw a bomb after the mayor had said everything's chill. And we still don't know who threw the bomb. We still don't know.
right.
I always have my students do an investigation and write, their analysis of who threw the bomb.
Yeah, there were was it one officer was killed instantly, 60 officers were injured, 8 died, and since the police had originally started shooting into the crowd of people, there's not really an official number. I don't believe, Beth, you could correct me on that, of the total number of civilians killed or wounded. I don't think we actually have that number. Do we, Beth? Could you speak to that?
Not no, we don't. And part of that's because people were afraid to seek medical
Yeah,
attention. That would put them as having been there, and everybody was terrified.
yeah. Yeah, so I actually looked up that image. That's actually a little bit of a dramatization. So the pastor giving the speech had actually already concluded his speech
Yeah.
at the time of the explosion. But it is a powerful image, and it really does get to the heart of the issue. But I just wanted to throw a couple facts because I looked this up, and don't kill me. I'm using Google as a source. And about 1886. Chicago had anywhere from 650 to 750,000, citizens. The May Day March of May 1st, 1886, drew an estimated crowd of 35,000 people, which is, like for somebody who was in Jersey City, a city of 300,000 people today, and we had maybe a few hundred people. It'd be hard to conceive of 35,000 people celebrating, just to see like what that looks like. And from what I understand, it started off as marches, and then as they went past businesses, they would get people to strike with them. So it was something that kind of grew as it spread. So this is the kind of workers power that the capitalist class, whether you want to call them the capitalist class, the Epstein class, right, this is the power of the work. This is the power that they fear, right? And this is the power that they've spent the last 140 years now, 140 years trying to crush. And they're winning, unfortunately. But it was good to see unions out there today, multicultural unions, immigrants' rights groups. The fight's not lost, and I think that's really what we're about here at Idavox, One People's Project, and the Antifascism O.G.
Yeah, and I want to um, mention the names of those who were um, arrested, arrested, convicted, executed regarding Haymarket. We have their names. I mean, we have a. Because
Yeah.
I'm about to put them up now. But I don't have their names on this
Yeah.
graphic.
If it's okay, Daryle, I will read. I wanted to read a little bit about the trial because Christian mentioned
Sure,
that how horrible it was, and then I'll read their names if that's okay.
sure.
So I'm quoting from a book, A Short History of the International Workers' Holiday by Philip Fournier. And he says the judge cooperated with the prosecutors to make sure a biased jury was selected. The result was an impaneling of a 12-man jury that included no workers, but instead was composed of managers, salesmen, contractors, and businessmen, all overwhelmingly antagonistic to socialism and anarchism. In his closing arguments, State Attorney General Julius S. Grinnell made clear that the men were being, and this is a quote, condemned for their ideas and not for any deeds, Fournier wrote. Grinnell said to the jury, law is on trial, anarchy is on trial. These men have been selected, picked out by the grand jury, and indicted because they are the leaders. They are no more guilty than those thousands who followed them. Gentlemen of the jury, convict these men, make examples of them, hang them, and save our institutions. And on August 20, a jury found all 8 guilty. All except Neby was sentenced to death. Neby was sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. And let me scroll through here and find their names. I have them right here. I thought if you have them, Christian, jump in there.
I honestly don't have them, and now I feel really bad, but I will Google that really quick.
I've got them right here in my notes if I can find the right place in my notes. All right. I know what to search. Here we go. Albert Parsons, August Spies, Michael Schwab, Samuel Fielden, George Engel, Adolf Fischer, Oscar Neby, and Louis Ling. And in the end, let me tell you who. Um, uh, Governor Richard James Oglesby commuted Fielden and Schwab's sentence to life in prison on November 10, 1887. Ling died by suicide in his jail cell the same day, and the next day at noon, Spies, Parson, Fisher, and Engel were hanged. Governor John Outgeld pardoned the 3 survivors just 6 years later.
Yeah,
And
I
if
mean
you
that's an assault
remember,
on working people.
Yeah,
right?
and if
That fits into. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Daryl.
no, I was just going to give a shout out to Lucy Parsons, Albert's widow, who we had spotlighted on, I believe, sometime in February or last month, or rather, I'm sorry, in March. We talked about her and talked about her contributions after.
Mhm.
Um, so she is an example of basically. Um, Using her platform that basically the government gave her in killing her husband. She used it to get people activated um, even more so, and that's why a lot of times we just looking at a lot of what we have today comes from her work, comes from the work of those who were there, who was even executed there over Haymarket. So it's just like we gotta pay tribute to those who came before us. I mean, never mind. I mean, we're talking about Haymarket, but there's a long list of people who we can look at, and don't forget that was responsible for where we are today when it comes to labor. And I mean, all we got to do is just look at those who have died and amongst the wobblies.
Mhm.
So I mean, we don't even. I mean, this is a day when we remember all of them. This is the day we remember all of them and celebrate. And that's exactly what what people did today. I believe there was something that happened in. Oh yeah, I should point out something else too. You was talking earlier, Christian, about how there was a lot of people that were out today
Yeah.
who were politicians and such.
Yeah.
It should be noted that the No Kings people actually had this day set aside for some sort of actions, and that could have came out of and that could have came. That's where they might have came out of.
Mm.
They might have thought it was part of the No King thing because and it was fine. I mean, I'm fine with No Kings doing this. I'm glad they did it this day, but got to remember why we were out today. And otherwise, you won't recognize that some of those politicians are just as much as a problem as the ones from 100 years ago. So
Mhm. I think
Yeah.
that's really important for us to remember is that the United States government has done everything in their power to erase May Day. It's been
hmm
May 1st has been declared Americanization Day in the United States. It's been
they
called
would call it
Loyalty
what? I
Day.
never heard that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a declaration. I can't remember. That was in 1910. Maybe it was proclaimed Americanization Day. Then it was proclaimed Loyalty Day. Then it was proclaimed Law Day.
Was
And
Trump
with
born
successive
then?
No, the Loyalty
no.
Day was Eisenhower in '55.
I mean, it
So
sounds like something that Trump would have pulled off.
Yeah.
But then again, didn't wasn't Roy calling the part of that nonsense, that red scare nonsense?
you know what it is,
It,
Daryl? It's this long history in this country. People don't realize our country has always been very right wing, right?
Yeah.
Particularly in the '50s and '60s. I've talked about it with my family. You see it in the history books. I mean, that's the reality. So when you hear liberals talk about like they don't understand it. This is not who we are. This is exactly who these people are, right? This is exactly what the ruling elite in this country has always been, right? They demand blind obedience to them, blind obedience to capital. They can go to and fro from any country they want. They can move their businesses to and fro from any country. But God forbid the year it's 1866 and you have immigrants pouring to New York City from Europe, or it's 2026 and you have immigrants coming from Latin America. Those people can't go. Their freedom of movement must always be questioned, must always be controlled. But if I own a business and I want to go to Taiwan or Bangladesh or Mexico, nobody's going to stop me. I can go there. I'm
Mm-mm.
free to exploit, you know, and peddle some lie about creating some kind of middle class that never seems to develop in these countries. But
Yeah, and it's
I'm
funny
sorry,
too
me and
because
my rants.
oh no, no, the rhymes are perfect. The rhymes are perfect because you think about the fact that no one really looks at United States as having a left, and I can understand why. I mean,
Mm.
there's a little bit more traction in other parts of the country, even in what they call developed countries. I mean, like in Europe, you'll see a left, but here, I remember when Occupy was going on, and we was over there saying that we were the 99% and all of that, and I saw like memes and stuff, for lack of a better term, because we really didn't have too many memes back then. But um, I remember seeing memes saying that you are not the 99%, we are, and it was folks from Africa that was writing that, because it was just like,
Yeah.
you're the 1%.
Yeah.
You're the United States of America, and it kind of helps you. And I think one of the things that's about this time in America, we're being tested by the Trump and the MAGAs and all of that, because we're coming to a point where we are going to have to shit or get off the pot. What do we want to do? And in the future, because now we're at a point where people are looking at society, and we want we got to do something with it. We got to do something with it. We got to stop taking our security for granted, and we got to stop allowing the people that are in power um, today to remain. And I'm not just talking about MAGA. I'm not just talking about Trump. I'm talking about the Democrats too. I
Yeah.
mean, I think one of the things that we see when it comes to the Democrats in particular is that they're very comfortable with trolling us over the idea that we want to change some stuff.
Yeah.
And we see that all the time when it comes to Schumer. He's always out there trying to just basically jug at us, and probably does so more than he does whatchamacallit, than he does Trump. And I think that's a sign that we're going to have to do something a little bit
Yeah.
more effective. And I think we're trying. I think we're trying now.
Yeah.
And I
There's
think,
people that get it. I
hmm
just think that the left is so disparate. My wife and I were talking because we had, like I said, there was a decent turnout in Jersey City. There was a decent turnout in Newark, but it's just like like New Jersey. She made a comment to me. She's like, New Jersey needs to get itself together, and we're all guilty of this. But there's no reason why a state like New Jersey can't have a powerful May Day rally with the immigrant community, the workers community, with a number of urban areas. It's disheartening. It's unfortunate. But I'm with you. It's a lot of people, a lot of good people showing up today. Um, you know, different ages, different backgrounds. I could see. So that was definitely uplifting.
I think maybe next year's May Day is going to be on a Saturday. Um, that might be a good time to, maybe we can help put something together, get together with some other
Yeah.
organizations and things like that, because I think we as One People's Project has to step up and try to do some of the things. This is one of the things I was talking about with Luis Marquez yesterday. I'm going to be on his podcast next week, and I'll get some more information about that in a minute. But and we was basically lamenting about why isn't the left stepping up, and I said straight up, why aren't we? If we're so concerned about that thing, about stepping up, then we should step up and do what we need to do. I mean, there's nothing stopping us for putting something together. So maybe next year we can make something happen on May Day, and also for the 9th, which is, everybody knows I like to keep bringing up. That's Sophie Scholes and Brown's birthday. You definitely want to make sure that something happens on that day next year. But
I think
but
if
that's
we want to see May Day celebrated, we're going to
hmm
have to educate. I think we got a lot of
Yeah.
education to do. I think most people, I would guess 90% of Americans have no idea what May Day is or what
Yeah.
its connection is to U.S. history. That would be
maybe
my guess.
we got a
I
year to
I
put
I
something
think
together.
I would say Americans' history of American history and world history, I think, is at the root of many problems in this
Hmm.
society, whether it's tensions with Iran, particularly tensions with Cuba, tensions with Russia, even our own racial tensions. It's there's when a lot of people from other countries speak to Americans about history, about things the United States has done overseas in our name with our taxpayer dollars, they're usually quite startled at how clueless and ignorant the average American is. I have those conversations with my international students. They learn things in high school, things on the news, things in everyday life that we're just not teaching students
Yes.
here in the United States. So people don't know, and you have Americans walking around with sixth grade reading levels, with sixth grade understandings of history, and it was going to come to a head at some point, and I think that we're really seeing the effects of that now. And one other thing I wanted to say, piggybacking on what Daryle said earlier about the global 99%. There's one of the reasons I stepped away for a second is I wanted to snag this book here. It's called Settlers by
Settlers.
Jay Sakai, right? And it's yeah, Settlers. And what it does is it criticizes the United States as a settler colonial project. The people running this country are not indigenous to this land. They're not even indigenous to this continent. They are the result of an anti-colonial struggle against an imperial power 250 years ago. They are not the original inhabitants of this land, and their control of this land has always been through the use of violence. And yeah, yeah. I mean, so if you get a chance, check out the book Settlers. You could probably find a free copy of it online somewhere. But
I
what it
had
does
it a
is it
while
looks at the
back.
American working class. Yeah,
I had it a
we,
while
we
back.
could
I think it's probably
probably
still
get
in
it
the
on our in our
library.
bookstore.
Yeah. And speaking of
It
which,
probably still is.
speaking of which, one of the things that is happening this weekend is and I'm gonna go to this right now is
Oh yeah.
obviously we can't do it live. Um, so we're gonna record ourselves there, and that's gonna be the show next week. And we're looking. I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy going out to these book fairs, and and I think it leads us to something else that I think is also really important to point out is the fact that I always bring this up. I always bring this up, and this stuff is for our director, our producer. Uh, she was working on something, but the fact when you talk about our books, our bookstores, our book fairs, I mean that's really the glue right now um, to for anything that's left in this country. Happily, the right hasn't picked up on that, but eventually they will. I mean, sometimes they do. I mean, the Klan, not the Klan, but some Nazis had protested an anarchist, or rather a book fair, a book. I'm sorry, a bookstore in Providence a couple of years ago, but they didn't do. They the organization that's responsible for that is kind of like not sketchy, but on shaky ground these days.
Mm.
But the fact is, um, right now you go to those bookstores, and whether you're talking about Red Emmons, or community books down in Stone Mountain, Georgia. You got a lot of you got a lot of people that you can, a lot of books you can read that you probably wouldn't see anywhere else. People that are just lounging around talking about the books that they bought and all of that. And I think it's really important that we take advantage of that um, element in that world, and build beyond that as well. And best ways to start is say, hey, look, go to this book fair if you can tomorrow and Sunday in Binghamton, New York. If you can't, don't worry, because somewhere near you is a book fair that's either coming up or probably already happened. But they're happening all over the country. They have them all over the country, and hopefully we'll be able to go to another one as well. Um, but in the meantime, I would say, everybody, if you want to see us and you want to probably even be talk with us, again, we are going to be at the Upstate Anarchist Book Fair. This is the you can see the address and everything on the screen right now, or the flyer. And I look forward to seeing everybody if you can definitely make it. I mean, we got to do something, and this is where it begins. I mean, this really is where it begins.
I would say, I mean, the education is the backbone of activism, right?
Hmm.
Education is the backbone of change, and that's how we're gonna make a difference. Is people need to be educated. Just a quick little anecdote. I'm sure you guys might have heard this. I'd heard reports of one of the problems with police trying to infiltrate anarchist reading circles is they find out very quickly that these people don't want to run around and throw bombs. They just actually do a lot of reading. They sit around and do a lot of reading, and it actually gets kind of boring if if you're trying to catch these people doing something. But yeah, like Daryle said, just come on up and say hi. I'm going to get up there on Sunday. I'm going to try and get up there early and be there for the day on Sunday. Come on up and say hi. Let's talk about the show. Let us know what you're doing. Like Daryle said, we're going to try and get some clips together for the for next week's show. So come on up, talk to us, let us know what you have to say, and we'd love to talk to you. Right? This is about community. We're about growing community here. When we talk about anti-fascism OG, all of you are the anti-fascism OGs also, because you are the people who've been putting in the work since day one. You're engaging in activism wherever it is you are, whether it's in New York, whether it's surrounding areas. I'm in the Jersey Shore. I'm coming from Central New Jersey, so come on up, say hi. Tell us about the work you're doing, and let's really try to build community and build a movement together.
And Beth, I gave you a shout out on Luisa's show yesterday, um, because to talk about your school. We said, hey, look, you built a school, and that's more, and that's even the other thing. We are Listen. I was raised by educators. I spent most of my day when I was a kid reading the encyclopedia. That was my thing. And it's important for me to encourage education. You're talking about a person that doesn't even have a college degree. Yes, and that's Luis's book, by the way. Beth edited that. It's
Some
called
Yeah, I was gonna say some people might know this editor, but edited by Beth Foster. So get your book
I have to
today.
say, I haven't been able to hear Christian for the last few minutes, so I don't know exactly what Christian said. But thank you, Daryle, for the shout out on the school. I think the coolest thing about that has been seeing that there are lots of parents of kids like third through 12th grade who are so excited to be able to get their kids enrolled in history and lit classes and ELA classes with that eco-social justice theme focus, and they want them to be taught truth, and that I can talk about Haymarket, and I can talk about slavery, and I can talk about the horrors of American history, the truth about American history, and they want more of that. They think that's important for their kids to know. So that's the cool part about that.
It definitely is. It definitely is. And that is one of the things, incidentally, as we go along. One of the things that I'm going to be doing soon is, if y'all remember, in on the YouTube channel, you see little historical videos that I have done for myself. Mostly it's about the history of the Klan, or rather the opposition to the Klan in Jersey. And I think I have one for not Macon, no, 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 Mon, Cor- the father of radio. Mon, oh, good Lord, not,
Marconi?
yeah, thank you. Yes, yes. So I did a story about him. I did a video about him because no one really, everybody knows his history of radio, and I just basically looked at him as being the OG tech bro, which means that he was a fascist, OG fascist, no less.
Mm.
So we're talking about those are videos that I have. I also have one about Bella Lugosi because um, he was one of the first people to start an organization to go after fascists. So we're going to do more of those videos, and definitely love to have Christian and Beth involved, and anybody else that wants to be a part of that. So, but we'll keep you posted. I got one plan. I'm planning on one for what's his name? Nelson. Nelson from back in the Father Knows Best or something like that.
Craig T. Nelson, coach?
No, 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 no. O's back, O's back.
Oh, like Ricky Nelson's. Oh, like yeah. Oh, you said Father Knows Best. Yeah, that's like
Yeah,
way back when.
yeah. I got one about him because he was actually an alumnus of Rutgers over here,
Oh
and
wow.
he let's just say he left a mark, a really bad one. So I'll be talking about that in the video coming up. So um, speaking of talking, I apologize because I'm talking a lot, but I definitely want to just make sure that everybody knows what podcast I'm going to be on next week. It's called the Collective Offensive Podcast, and I said it's he's on it's a Reese's podcast. He's on. He has other co co hosts, and I was on I was interviewed yesterday for a show that's going to come out on next week, and you can, wherever there's a podcast, wherever you can check out your podcast normally, you'll find it there. So so just look around. I think it is on Spotify and things like that. So basically, I would just want to just start telling everybody, yo, go to that, check it out. They have a lot of good um guests. I mean, I had one of the specials on their show just a couple of weeks ago. So yo, they don't play. It's a good podcast. So anybody before we, I mean, was there anything else that we want to say about Mayday before we cut out? Because I'm cutting it short today. I mean, actually not cutting it short. It's almost 10 o'clock anyway. So, but did y'all have anything you want to add to this today?
I was gonna say just try to find an organization and
I
find
could give it, a 3-hour lecture, but I think I hit the high points.
Yes, you did. Well, I want to thank everybody. Oh yeah. Thank you for being on being here. Everybody watching. Um, I don't know how many are watching on Facebook or anything. I haven't looked yet. Um, I got my monitor over here. And finally, it looks like we got Patreon up and going. So we figured out how to get people on watching there. And you'll see us next week. Like I said, everything's going to be for the next 2 weeks. The shows are going to be pre-recorded only because it's easier to deal with the things that we're going to be doing next week. Next week we got we're going to do the book fair, and then the following week, maybe I'm looking at the possibility that's going to be not for profit. In case you haven't noticed, we didn't have a show last week, and I'm going to just basically tell everybody what's going on. I have someone who's OPP, um, who's in hospice, and I've been trying to basically deal with that, and it's rough, it's tough, and the reason why I we had to cancel the show last week is because we thought it was going to happen, things were going to happen that day, so we was basically doing vigil, and I've been doing vigil for the past month. It's not easy. It's really not easy, but and when the time comes, I'll talk a lot more. But I just don't want to talk about it right now. I don't want to put a business out there right now. But folks who know me and know who I roll with, know who I'm talking about. So and and it sucks. It's and I'm about to lose it again. Damn it. Um,
No, it stinks, Daryl. So I thank you for sharing your feelings with us. Thank you for giving us updates. Those that know. Um, this is the 10-year anniversary of a friend that I lost who was very close to me. So I
sorry.
mean, it's a hard time. It's a hard time. But OPP is moving forward, full steam ahead, and whatever happens moving forward, we'll always be doing the right thing.
And I appreciate all the love, all the support that everybody's been giving us in that in this time. I mean we've had a lot of visitors going to see her and all of that. I'm gonna try to be careful with what I say right now online. So I have been careful, but I just basically want people to understand exactly what it is that has been basically been my life for the past month, you know. So, but and that's one of the reasons why I also want to make a point that remember everybody, we have our spring fundraiser going on, and we want to encourage everybody to donate to the fundraiser because remember 10% of that of the proceeds of this of our little outing is going to the prairie land people. We're going to make sure of that, but we're also going to be building a I'm serious about this one. We're really going to have our community center somewhere in Jersey. Don't know where yet. Maybe Blankfield. Who knows? But one of the ways that you can also donate and help us is also by becoming a subscriber on Patreon and on Substack, which is basically where this podcast originates. And as you know, I'm going just to pass it over to Beth and let her explain everything.
Yeah, if you can, you should become a paid subscriber or a donator to Out of Ox One People's Project on whichever platform you prefer. With Substack specifically, and with all of our content, there's very little behind a paywall because we are anarchist and anti-capitalist, and we believe that education and information can change the world for the betterment of all people. So we want this to be available to everyone, but it also takes some money to keep things running. So if you can donate, if you can be a paid subscriber, do that. But if you can't, we still want you here. You can become just a subscriber without paying on Substack, so you get all the content. You can also do that on Facebook. Are we on Instagram too? No, Facebook, and where else, Daryl?
We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Substack and all that. We're not
Yeah.
on YouTube. I'm sorry, Instagram. I don't know
You
how to
are.
play that.
You are
Well,
personally.
I don't know.
Yeah.
yeah,
You
yeah,
can
I
follow
am.
Daryle. You can follow Daryle on
Okay.
TikTok
But you
and,
can
and on
watch our
Instagram.
show any of those
Oh, if you're
places
talking
for
about
free.
us, or rather
Yeah.
the organization, yeah, we're on. One People's
Yeah.
Project is Idavox is on Instagram. So just hit us up there and talk. Feel like if you feel like talking trash, or rather, don't talk trash. Don't bother because Jerry Conway, who was one of the people that um, created the Punisher, passed away this week, and I put up a post about how he Punisher, the character, was not for the cops. It was not for some right wing bigots to exploit. And there's some knucklehead that tried to get really upset about me saying that, but I shut him down after having some fun with him, and after all my people who were on my page had their fun with him. But uh, come by and visit us there. I'm more than happy to talk with folks and about what it is I post. I'm D Lamont Jenkins on what you would call it on Instagram. So with that, I want to say we're going to play you out. There's a what's it sick of the oh boy
Oh, sick of it all.
yeah we're
Yeah. Oh,
gonna
sick of it all. For those of us, like, I just want to real quick, going back to the 80s and 90s, sick of it all is an old school hardcore punk band. This is an album. I believe the album is called Built to Last. I can't remember, but in a nutshell, this video came out in the year 2000. For those of you that are rock and roll fans who were alive in that time, the 90s, the late 90s, really was the era of hip hop. And in the year 2000, there were a number of bands who were coming out with albums that year. So the first time I had ever heard of Sick of It All, there was a video on MTV, and this was one of the videos they were playing about good videos, and they were telling people, look, more rock and roll is sure to come. But check out the song Sick of It All. We're going to play it. It critiques American consumerism, um, having big egos, and the music video is just really cool. Really cool. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to throw that out there because I love this
hey
song.
no
It's
no
one
no
of my
no no.
all-time favorite songs. It kicks ass. It's a really good song.
Well, you talked about hip hop having such a presence on in the 90s. Is like the first time I heard Sick of It All, KRS One was on there, was on the song, was on the album.
Hmm.
And I
Wow.
remember, I was like, I mean, he just did some sort of intro, and I actually had a chance to talk to him about that because he was what regular. I used to work at Tower Records back in the '90s, and he used to come in all the time, and it it, it was a crazy time. But it really wasn't just hip hop back in the day. Some punk was really blowing up. Never mind on MTV, just period.
Yeah, I
So
didn't have access to that though. I mean,
and the
I
hardcore.
I only had MTV. That's all I had. So like that underground stuff for me wouldn't really come until like later on in high school, early college, where I got into like, your Sepulturas and like all the Roadrunner records, Metal Blade, those
Yeah,
those 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 bands.
I get it. I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
Fat
thick in the
Records.
underground. I was
Yeah.
thick in the underground. But we're gonna end it all because I got split out of here. But
Sorry.
because I have to get ready to go to that book fair that I just mentioned.
Oh yeah.
So got to get me some sleep, and then I'm on my way. So take care, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Like I said, it's gonna be pre-recorded. You'll see the book fair. And Christian, Beth, until next time.
Thank you guys. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Take care. Bye.
So come here, Big Daddy. Oh, you look so good.
Here's another tale, a replay of society's failures. Our fortune. seem to get it right. No compassion, no caution, no